Checkpoint XP back again with the most in-demand in-game leader in all of Valorant right now. ShaZaM, you guys just, it had a tough first map, but you won maps 2 and 3 here. How are you feeling coming into this playoff tournament, as an in-game leader? How do you feel about the team?
Pretty good. We're still learning to adjust to the meta as well as play against it. So it's been a process. We've had some close games and challengers too. And obviously our Ascent is still a work in progress too.
Well, you're the guy. I've been waiting. I'm sorry. I've been waiting to talk to you about the meta and where it's at right now, man. Like, it feels like it's a whole deal. I've heard people call it the suck meta, like cool, whatever. How does it feel trying to be the in-game leader when it feels like now the first minute to a minute and a half is just, all right, everybody throw out all your arsenal?
Yeah, so Astra kind of ruined the pacing of the game, in my opinion. Now there's an orb there. There's nothing you can do about it. You have to forfeit control of like a certain area of the map and then give it up later, or take it later with more utility. So it's kind of ruined the pacing and like excitement, in my opinion, a bit. Now everyone's forced to play a little slow, but some teams are sticking to their old stuff as well. And then you have to know, like, okay, well, this team's not running Astra, so we can keep control of this. We can abuse this. The fact that they're not. Viper, people are leaving Viper ult alone on a site, so now we think, okay, maybe we have to save my Sova utility on a round to really flush out this Viper. This Viper can be pretty busted as well. It's a matter of like rehearsing and like playing against all these different types and then finding out protocols to like play against them. And yeah, Astra seems like a must pick. Everyone should be running her, in my opinion, on maps, and it's just a whole lot of work. It's a whole lot of work to prepare and figure out versus teams, because teams are now playing very different styles. Yeah.
Well, one of the crazy things is, you play Sova. Sova hasn't really been touched. You know what I mean? Like, there hasn't been, and still his pick rate is through the roof, going into pro matches. What is it about the character that just makes him feel balanced? You know what I mean? Like, I play Sova, but I'm not good, but it just feels nice to be able to have like a designated person who's the one that's like trying to gather the info.
Yeah, so I always thought Sova was actually pretty OP, but the thing is that it's so hard to measure Sova's impact when it's not directly on the scoreboard or with damage. Like Sova, you get map control, you get info for free. You're not sacrificing a body. The Sova drone, whether you follow it, whether you fake with it, whether you just re-clear areas, is so powerful. But how do you measure like info? Like how do you say that's OP? Like, you can't put that in data if they're exclusively looking at data. I feel like you can't. I think Sova's pretty OP, but then you look at like characters like Viper, I think is overtuned, and Astra is like pretty powerful, being able to like gravity well at the start of the round. Those things you can kind of like directly see the impact when Viper's just melting people. If she's got her ult, like it's like almost a 1 round on that post point. But yeah, Sova is like I feel like a must. Some teams are trying Sky, but I still don't think Sky is as valuable as Sova when it comes to getting map control.
And one of the other things too is it feels right now like there has been a shift in the meta, not only with using all the utility and whatnot, but you see even like, because like, all right, Tarek, for instance, Tarek is going, yo, I'm a stream before I jump into playing Valorant full time and everything. It seemed like when Valorant first came out, people were like, yo, CSGO players are going to be the ones. They're going to run everything. That's just the way that it's going to be. But over the past like 6 months, you've seen all these other players from other games come in to where now, they're not used to playing with the same kind of like CSGO info, right? Like CSGO is all about, can you tell me where they are at all times type of a thing. Do you think that it's really kind of changed personnel wise? Like, are teams, playing more of an Overwatchy style? Is it still pretty CSGO heavy? Like, what does it feel like as the guy calling the shots?
It's a mix of both. It's hard to say because it is CSGO style when it comes to like, getting map control and then getting info one place and then denying info to a team. That's like, that was part of the CS is like you get map control, you set up the rounds, so you can throw a fake, you can throw an exec. You can cause a rotation. It's harder to force rotations in this game, but you can definitely see when teams are throwing fakes, how they're trying to like look about it similar to CS. But then you've also got teams that'll stack their ultimates and just brute force in a site. And I'm not an Overwatch player, but I think that's like a bit more Overwatchy meta. Like when I watch the face players, when I would watch my teammates from Overwatch play, they would like brute forcing into sites, and it's possible in Valorant. Like in CS, it's kind of like no good team would like try to do that really. So it's definitely a mix of both styles. I think Valorant, like, the CS players switching over right now are playing a lot of catch up. Like there's so much to Valorant right now that like, you don't immediately, smaller and smaller details are mattering more and more as these teams get better. And these things you can't just instantly pick up switching from CSGO. Originally, all the CSGO players had an advantage because they understood like, rotations and stuff. But now all these little details are mattering so much and it's a lot to learn. Like these CS players that are switching now, they don't know the old metas too. They don't know what the stuff people were doing before. So now you can bring that in versus them and like they won't recognize it. While us that we've been playing since close beta, like we know all the different like evolutions of the game so far.
Now, I one of my favorite things about being able to talk about you, whenever we do like stuff on the radio show, is that you're the guy who does his homework, right? Like you're the one who takes all the notes on everything. And you look at the teams that are competing in this playoffs, it's essentially you and 100 Thieves that are like the big names, you know what I mean? That you would have done a lot of research on before. Is it taxing to come into a tournament with all these teams that you don't have tons and tons of VOD stuff? Like I know in version 1, even one of the players you essentially didn't have any, I think it was on Whippy probably, that you didn't have any stuff. Like, is that harder for you as the in-game leader, or are you just like, yo, I don't know, let's just do stuff?
Well, yeah, so like preparing for version 1, for example, they changed the player and the last matches they played were 21 days ago, and they ran Omen still. There's no Viper. It was all their old stuff. And now we go into the match and it's completely new stuff. I still watch this stuff to just get an idea for myself, like tendencies of like what they like to do on ecos, or they're like stack heavy and stuff, smaller tendencies, not necessarily like agent specific stuff they do. But that's like the thing that a lot of people think now is, oh, I said I do my homework, and now everyone thinks like, oh, we're just counter stratting.
No.
But that's not how it works. Every team is doing their homework. There's no way a team's going into an important match and not doing their homework.
Yeah.
But we stick to our guns, we stick to our game plan. Like version 1, on Haven, on Split, I didn't have any notes for those maps because they played completely different comps. We just stuck to our game plan at this point, and it proved successful.
And last thing before, I get you out of here is Iceland is on the horizon. What would it mean to you to kind of be able to go and represent North America? Like you've had a really kind of crazy year, you know what I mean? Like in Valorant this past year, you've had a lot of things change in your personal life and your professional life. Everything seems to have been, you know what I mean? Like not upended, but there's been some craziness. What would it feel like to finally be able to come out top and go to Iceland and be like the North American team?
As everything since it was announced, we've been just really wanting to qualify. We've really wanted to play at a LAN tournament. We've been winning tournaments for a while now, and it's not the same as winning a tournament in a live setting. Or in compared to like being in our bedrooms. So this is like our biggest focus. We really want to represent NA. We feel like we're the most consistent team, and we feel like if we go to Iceland, we could definitely win the whole thing.
And like, I'm sorry, I just got to ask, how much do you have up your sleeve? Are you saving everything for Iceland, or do you still have some tricks that you're willing to pull out, to be able to get there?
No, our big focus is taking it step by step and getting there first. So everything's on getting there first right now. And then when it comes to prepping for Iceland, like we've got to really practice, especially with Breeze being added.
Dude, Breeze is going to be a whole monster. ShaZaM, thanks so much for taking the time to talk with us. Really excited. Hopefully you're going to be able to punch your ticket to Iceland, the end of this playoffs, and, you get to go over there and not have to wear a mask. You get to walk around and do whatever you want.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me.